major blockbuster trade rumors for the Cleveland Browns. We're going to talk about it right now here on the show. Big names you're not going to miss. These are the names I'm seeing Browns fans Twitter scream about. Everybody's saying they're on the trade block, that Cleveland should make a move. I'll tell you how valid it is and who those big names are in just a moment. But first, we're in a Week 5 subscriber battle, folks. It's the Browns Report versus Vikings Today. We can beat those Vikings fans, folks. Right now, they're up 456 subs. Cleveland Browns Report is up 333 subs. I know we can beat them, folks. Browns fans, we're the most diehard fan base in the league. We're loyal. Smash that subscribe button. It's free, just so we can beat those Vikings fans off the field, and then let's beat the Vikings in Week 5 on the field, folks. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue. Let's talk about those Browns trade rumors. The first name I'm seeing a lot of Browns fans throw out there is Marvin Harrison Jr. I love him as a product. The Ohio State University, MHJ. He'd been struggling in Arizona early, so let's talk about him. Like I said, big receiver, 6'4", 205. He's physical. He's also fast, and he went to The Ohio State University. A little Cleveland connection, perhaps. And he's gotten off to an okay start. But the main thing is the drops. Some big, costly drops. He's a super talent. Everyone rated him as the best wide receiver in the draft that he came out of. And that's why it was shocking to see him drop some balls that were right in his hands. Wide open. It's unlike him. Seems like there's a lot of turmoil, some frustration with the Cardinals and Marvin Harrison Jr. And the Browns need wide receiver help. Especially now. Cedric Tillman ruled out for weeks, as confirmed by Kevin Stefanski. DeAndre Carter also ruled out for weeks. We mainly use him in the return game, but still, both of them listed as wide receivers. Jerry Jeudy, speaking of drops, has had multiple costly drops so far for the Browns this season. We're talking third down, fourth down drops. Plays that could have set us up in scoring range that Jeudy has not looked like himself on. Finally, that wide receiver room, it just lacks a star. I like when there's a star wide receiver on your team. You should be able to look at every team in the league. They should have a wide receiver one, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy's good. Jeudy was that guy last year with Jameis Winston throwing him the ball. We haven't seen it this year. We lack that star playmaker. We lack the depth. Cleveland needs to make a wide receiver move. And Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. just haven't been in sync this year. It's when Murray hits him in the numbers, MHJ's dropping it. When MHJ's open, Murray's missing him, throwing it low, throwing it over his head, whatever it is. Their chemistry has been off to start the season. They kind of look like Flacco and Jeudy out there. I mean, it's the same story. They're missing each other. Chemistry doesn't seem to be there. There's drops. It's like it's not working at the moment. Now, I think he would still be very costly for the Browns. At least a first-round pick for a guy that they drafted very high in the first round. Potentially even a little bit more. You might have to add a pick swap to the end of it. And I don't think the Cardinals are actually going to make this deal. I don't think they're trying to move on from Marvin Harrison Jr. I do think this is Twitter screaming about it. It's people saying, but he went to Ohio State. He would love to go to Cleveland. Maybe, but I don't think there's actually much validity or truth to this. I'm giving it one Bernie Kosar head as a rumor. The only reason there's one is because I think, well, I'd love to have him in Cleveland. I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of his game. I love that he's got ties to Ohio. I think he would be amazing for the Cleveland Browns, and it's a move they would love. But I don't think there's any way the Cardinals move on from him right now. He's a young potential superstar in the NFL. He's the Cardinals' number one wide receiver. Don't think there's any truth to them actually moving the rook or the young player. Next name is pretty big. C.J. Stroud. Yes, that's right, folks. I've seen people talk about the Browns' push for a C.J. Stroud trade. I even had a question on our Browns Report Q&A last week on if the Browns should go after Stroud. It's really Browns Twitter that's saying, let's go make a move right now. Well, the Browns and Texans did just make a trade. Who knows? Maybe Stroud's name came up on that phone call. It was for tackle Cam Robinson, who's going to be a big help for Cleveland, I would imagine. He's a pretty good pass blocker going forward. But they're no stranger to calling each other up and doing deals. C.J. Stroud had kind of a slow start to the 2025 season. Not what we're used to seeing from CJ. 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 4-3 TD int ratio is not great. 88.7 quarterback rating, 832 yards, 67.5 completion percentage. That's not bad at all, but just something to keep in mind, folks. Browns and Texans, no stranger to doing deals together. Now, Stroud, also, their team has not been looking too great. They started off 0-3. Their only win is against the Tennessee Titans, who are trash. Even their own quarterback, Cam Ward, said that they're trash. That's why this started boiling up, is the frustration in Houston right now. No one thinks they should have been an 0-3 team. It's aggravating C.J. Stroud. I'm sure it's aggravating DeMeco Ryans. And like I said, I even got a question about this on our Q&A. People are wondering it. Browns fans, Twitter's calling for it. I don't think it's going to be easy to do, or very likely. I'll tell you the Bernie heads but in a moment, but he's not a buy low candidate. It's not fantasy football. He's going to be expensive. He's their young star franchise quarterback. Even though he's playing bad right now, it's not like it's not like Joe Flacco. He sucks, we can bench him, move on from him. No. He's young. He's had success. He took them to the playoffs. He's their franchise quarterback. This isn't like, we can go get him because he's playing bad right now. Also, why would you want to go get him when he's playing bad? What do you mean by that? The Texans would want multiple first-round picks and probably an impact player like Denzel Ward. I'm not even kidding. Maybe they'll take both firsts straight up for him, but I'm telling you, I think they're still valuing C.J. Stroud as a franchise quarterback who's young. Would be shocking to see them do a deal with the Cleveland Browns for a small package. And I don't think it's necessary. Would I be excited if C.J. Stroud was a Cleveland Brown? Absolutely. But giving that big of a haul to get him while he's playing bad? You guys really want to trade for another Texans quarterback? You know what happened last time we sent the house to get a Texans quarterback? Yeah, lots of picks, lots of firsts, $200 million. It was Deshaun Watson. And what if Stroud continued to play bad then when he came to Cleveland? Just like Watson started playing bad. Now what? You've given up your future and probably one of your best players to get him? I don't think it's necessary. If it happened, I would be like, okay, Cleveland's got a chance to win games here now, but I just don't think shipping everything to get him even is a great idea for the Browns, nor is it likely. Would you do it if it's on the table, though? Would you go all in to get C.J. Stroud? What do you think, Browns fans? Type yes in the comments if you think so. Type no if you wouldn't even want to trade for C.J. Stroud in the first place. My thoughts on it as an actual valid rumor? It's fake news. No way this is going to happen. This is just Twitter freaking out. No shot the Texans give up C.J. Stroud right now. Later in the season, maybe it's a different conversation. If he continues to play poorly, sure. But after a couple games of a little bit of a down season, come on. No shot, no way, no how. We have another Browns trade rumor that I'm going to tell you about, and I think it might actually be likely. But first, this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. And honestly, I'm just so hyped that we get to watch Cleveland Browns football again on Sundays. All is right with the world. And I'm big into daily fantasy with PrizePicks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. And PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. I've got more picks this week, and I am hot, folks. I'm making money. I want to do it again. Isaiah Bond, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. I also have Quinshon Judkins, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. Those 2 rookies are Cleveland's playmakers going forward. That's what I saw on Sunday. That's what I expect to see in London against the Vikings. Aiden Hutchinson, more than 0.75 sacks, 1 sack, and that will be the more. I think he does it after what I saw Sunday from him as well against Cleveland. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, getting back to trade rumors for Cleveland. Demario Douglas, New England Patriots wide receiver. I think he's on the trade block, and I showed you Cleveland desperately needs a wide receiver. Let's look at the New England Patriots wide receivers room right now. Stephon Diggs, obviously they're one. Douglas is their slot guy, but they haven't even been using him too much. They've got Kayshon Boutte over there as well. Hollins, that they've been going to a little bit more. He's kind of been weeded out on the Patriots wide receiver depth chart. I think he's a player that's actually available and on the trade block and could be pretty cheap for Cleveland to get. So the Patriots stopped using Douglas this season. Week 4, he only had 8 snaps. Week 3, it was 29. Week 2, it was 15. But just recently, it seems like they're going away from him, specifically Week 4, which is kind of surprising because 2024, Douglas was actually a very impactful player for the Patriots. 87 targets, 66 catches. He had over 600 yards and 3 touchdowns. Played all 17 games for the New England Patriots. Everyone was hyping up Pop Douglas in New England. And so there's some talent there. There's some potential. He's a guy that hasn't done much in 2025 yet, but did a lot in 2024. For no other reason than the Patriots bringing in Diggs and some more receivers. So I think Cleveland could benefit from bringing in Pop Douglas. And I think it's likely the Patriots don't need him. They're going away from him. Perhaps they're shopping him around anyway. That's what teams start to do when you start to notice a player not really get much time anymore. For no other reason, that could be the case. What I would say about Douglas is he's your prototypical slot wide receiver. He's fast. He's the guy you put there. And I think he'd be cheap as well. There's no way Cleveland would have to give up a high draft pick to get him. Heck, New England started not to even use him that much. So this one is one that's maybe a good price, helps the Cleveland position of need. If I had to put together a trade myself, well, I did. The Patriots would get a 2026 fifth-round pick. I think that's more than fair for Douglas. Like I said, guy got 8 snaps last week. Patriots don't need him. The Browns, he might actually be able to help out, be our wide receiver 3, potentially. Fifth-round pick should be an easy deal for Cleveland to get done. If they wanted to do this, you could get Pop for a 5th. What do you guys think about this? Would you make that trade? Type Y for yes. Type N for no if you don't think we should get Pop Douglas. But if you would do it, a cheap wide receiver addition, then type Y for yes in the comment section below. For those reasons, I actually think this is a likely one that Cleveland would do. I'm giving it 3 Bernie heads. I'm not saying it's a lock, but as far as rumors go, Douglas is clearly on the trade block. Cleveland clearly needs a wide receiver. They just put 2. They put Tillman on IR and said Carter's going to be out for weeks. I think there could actually be some juice to this trade rumor. We'll be the first to let you know about it if it happens. Folks, those are the Browns trade rumors of the day. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Browns Report and having some fun with us, talking about some targets that Cleveland could go out to get, some players that they certainly need. Glad you stuck around, watched the video. Make sure you subscribe, put those notifications on so you can be the first to know about Cleveland Browns news. And we thank you for watching. We'll see you very soon on the Browns Report.